think it's a very dangerous time, one that we haven't seen. And as you say, a 13% increase in the price of oil. A week ago, people were talking about $50 a barrel oil, but now as the crisis turns into more of a confrontation between Israel and Iran, particularly after the barrage of Iranian missiles, and the discussion even by President Biden as to whether Iranian oil facilities will be attacked, it is a ratchet up. And I think the expectation is that this is not going to be a replay of last April in terms of Israel's response, but it will be much stronger. And that's what the market is saying. I think the other thing that has to be said, it was an extremely short position in the market. And so people have really been unwinding in the face of these potential imminent risks.
Dan,
no, go ahead.
Thanks, Martin. Dan, you're an eminent historian of past energy crises, whether it's the oil embargo or the tanker wars of the 1970s and the 1980s. Supply has not been materially impacted, has it? But whether it's the Strait of Hormuz, Iranian production, which is actively being targeted by the Israelis, possibly in coordination with the United States, or Saudi Aramco, which has been targeted in 2019, where could we go from here? What is most vulnerable?
Well, I think the question is, what are the Israelis going to respond to? Obviously, Iran's oil production is almost back to where it was before sanctions were put on it back in the Trump administration. So the Biden administration has been very lax in those in the sanctions compared to under Trump. But I think there's a question, here in Washington, the question is oil facilities or oil infrastructure like refineries, which would be sort of more like the Abqaiq attack of 2019. And maybe the latter is more likely because such strong pressure from the Biden administration that just doesn't want to see oil prices jump and is concerned about disruption in the market. If Iranian oil exports stop, they're more than made up for by exports by other countries. There's plenty of spare capacity. But then this is an escalation. What happens after? What happens next?